Hello, gorgeous, and welcome back to the Empowered Podcast. I am your host, Deanna Deacon, and I'm very, very excited to share today's conversation with you because it's all about Feminine Warrior, which is my debut book, the very first one of hopefully many more to come that I brought into the world, published into the book world in November of 2020. So if you don't have a copy of Feminine Warrior yet, that's okay. You can grab one on my website at any time, deannadeacon.com/feminine warrior. And what I wanted to do today was read one of the quotes that's in the beginning of the book and just talk a little bit about it. And I have a feeling I'm going to be doing some more podcasts like this coming up where we take a little section of Feminine Warrior, share maybe a few quotes or a few words or something from it, and then dissect it a little bit further. Because the concepts in this book are powerful. And they're strong, and they will really, truly support you in coming home to the power of who you are and in remembering the essence of you as a beautiful, powerful, incredible goddess. And before we dive into that, remember that feminine energy, which we have both masculine and feminine energy, but most women do have a lot of feminine energy. So we're primarily feminine. Feminine energy is not just about the fluidity and flow and emotion and the softness in those pieces. It's also about destruction and chaos. If you look to any of the beautiful gods and goddesses that you can search through in Greek mythology and looking back into yogic philosophy, the goddesses are often the ones that have such intense potency when it comes to destruction and chaos. And even taking a look at the Great Mother, Mama Gaia, Mother Earth, this planet, not only is there sweet peace and ease and flow and beauty, but there is also absolute destruction and chaos. And so when we tap into that aspect of ourselves, it's not that we want to create destruction and chaos because we want to hurt others or hurt ourselves. That's not the reason. But it's about the remembering of our potency and power, because we have the ability to create change within us, within a thought that we have, within the way we interact with others, the words that we share, the way we hold our body, the choices that we make. We have the ability and the power to create change. And I just feel like for centuries, we haven't really been allowing ourselves to unleash this power and this wildness and this intensity, because so many years ago it's been trained out of us, basically. Because even going back into when they were burning witches at the stake, I mean, witches at that time, from my understanding, simply knew about how to help others heal, which is what you and I know now. We know the holistic healing modalities. We know that plants and herbs heal bodies. We know that eating well, taking care of our bodies, having connection with others, we know these things are important. But back in the day, that was seen as fearful because it was sorcery, it was witchcraft, because how could you heal someone? This doesn't make sense in our linear logical minds. And now we're coming, energy is shifting, opportunity for the feminine energy and masculine energy of the entire humanity to come into balance. And that's what this book, Feminine Warrior, I mean, ultimately, at like the core of it, that's what it's about. It's about helping humanity rise in its evolution through women remembering their power. And it talks to that angle, and it also speaks to, like, we still want to have nice things. We wear pretty things. We want to feel comfortable in our body. We want to feel sexy. We want our homes to be organized and tidy. We want to be successful in our careers. Like this book speaks to all of those pieces as well. So it's kind of like modern day goddess, which is like what I like to consider myself, a modern day goddess who manages to harmonize and balance a lot of things. I even had a friend of mine recently say, I was telling her about some of the projects I have coming up in my business and what I've accomplished this year. And she said, D, sometimes I wonder if you actually bend time because of all of the things that you do. And you also seem so relaxed, and you spend so much time in nature and with Dixie and with Stuie Cat, who just joined us, if you can hear him. And it was such a beautiful compliment that I could bend time because I don't feel exhausted and I don't feel burnt out and I don't feel like I don't have time for the things that matter most. And that, to me, is what building sustainable lives is all about. Ensuring that we're actually enjoying our existence. And if you have a business, that it's a sustainable business financially, energetically, impact-wise. Yeah, so that was a beautiful compliment that I received a couple weeks ago. So Coming back into Feminine Warrior, your guide to intuition and feminine wisdom. I'm going to read to you this. It's a bit of a longer quote. It's on page 3, so at the very beginning of the book. And this is a love letter that I wrote to the core essence of you. So take a nice deep breath. Let it go through your mouth. And just allow yourself to receive this from me. Dear warrior woman, we need you to know how valuable you are. We need you to wake up to the truth of your being. We need you to stop hiding behind the conformity of society and instead allow yourself to awaken to the beauty and bounty of who you are. You are a magnificent, incredible, and beautiful woman. You were born into a time in humanity that needs your magnificence to be felt, believed, and lived so deeply. The conscious collective has been in cycles of suffering for decades, allowing the pain of the whole to be felt on an individual level. They say we cannot change the actions or outcomes of another person, but I believe we can. I have seen it and I have experienced it. When a woman embodies her truth, she rises and allows others to rise with her. When she finally comes home to the awareness and understanding that she is a life giver, body healer, truth teller, and symbol of the purest form of love, magical shifts take place both for herself and anyone in her energetic orbit. Warrior woman, when you rise and stand strong in your truth, the world aligns with your beliefs, your desires, your values. And within this unveiling of your truth lies the absolute beauty of your wholeness. When empowered, there is no leadership based in fear, no worry or doubt that you are not good enough. You are embodied in the simplicity and strength of already being it all. And within you is the absolute power and ability to fulfill humanity's need. You can love yourself. You can feel whole. You can find your peace. You are on the journey of becoming the world's feminine warrior. This is your path, your homecoming, your celebration of the magical tapestry that your life truly is. This is you. So that little section was written one evening. I think it was quite late in the night. I wrote most of the book actually really late in the night. It would keep me up, I loved it. It was really a fun experience. But that was written in my journal. I didn't even type it out. It was just written in my journal to you, to every single woman that I envisioned ever reading this book, to every single woman that I could see and feel was getting herself caught in the monotony of the mundane everyday existence, in the experience of trying to keep up with everyone else around you and trying to make sure you're buying all the right things for your kids and your cupboards are stocked full of food and you're taking them on the right holidays and like trying to do all of the things and not actually finding any specific fulfillment or satisfaction from it. Because the fact is, when we're in our own inner alignment, we have the ability to make things happen with ease. And so it's different. There's this difference between being in our strength and our power, which is being a feminine warrior, in comparison to being in a place of force, which is where we are trying to make things happen that don't feel aligned with who we are. So we're constantly trying to do, like in air quotations, do all the things that we're supposed to do instead of actually following our hearts. And what I found, because it's been almost 8 years that I've been coaching women. And I have found that when women come into true alignment with themselves, which is different for every person, but when they're in true alignment, they naturally do want to buy the right things for their kids. They do want to take their family on the great vacation. They do want their cupboards and their fridge to be stocked full of organic, wholesome, locally purchased items. We do naturally want these things for ourselves, but I think we've got it backwards, where we're trying to do all the things before getting into our alignment. But if we can come into our own alignment, then we can do all the things from a place of flow, from a place of ease. And that is our power. That's our strength, where we don't have to force and push and try so hard to make everything happen. And that, coming back to my comment before about a friend of mine saying, it's like you bend time. That's what I mean. Like I can accomplish a lot. And trust me, if I showed you the back end of my business, there's a friggin' lot going on there. I have done a lot of creation in this year of 2021. I've created 3 specific courses, run a year-long program, created a brand new one-on-one coaching experience, as well as many other things. And I'm not tired. I'm not exhausted. I'm not burnt out because I found my own personal flow. I found my own personal alignment. And I'm sure some of you are like, okay, cool. So how do I find my alignment? That's the journey. So if you don't have a copy of Feminine Warrior, I recommend you grab a copy because it will help you start to see how you can find your way into that alignment. Stuart, please no licking now, okay? We're on the camera right now, okay? Stuart likes to join us. But the coming into your own alignment is really about you on that journey. So Feminine Warrior, this book, if you haven't read it, or even if you have, but you want to return back to it, it's written in a way not to it's not all about me telling my stories and sharing my life with you. Yes, there's parts of that, but that's not the purpose. The purpose is to activate within you the part of you that's ready to awaken. I wrote it specifically for that. I had that intention very strongly within me. And I know that it's been working because a lot of women have shared with me that it just feels like something is erupting from within them as they read it. Now, when we find our alignment, sometimes it means that other parts of our life they have to dissipate. Sometimes it's relationships, sometimes it's jobs or commitments, sometimes it's not having boundaries for ourselves. And this can be a little overwhelming or scary. And that's why I personally fully recommend that every single human being has their own coach to work with. If you find the right coach for you, you will feel deeply supported in going into some of that nitty-gritty details of what is ready to be released in order for you to become more and more aligned with who you truly are, aligned with your power to create more ease. Not everybody has a coach, and I'm not meant to be everybody's coach. I know that for sure. So I'm not saying come and hire me. And to be honest, I only have space for one one-on-one client right now anyways. So what I'm recommending is that make sure that you have additional support for yourself as you're going down this journey. But that quote that I just shared with you, it's on page 3 of Feminine Warrior, the very beginning, because that's the energy that I wanted to bring forward for the entire book. And remember too, that at the back of the book is the entire section of resources where I teach you different breath techniques and meditation styles and how to do EFT tapping. There's an entire script in there for an EFT tapping experience. There's all sorts of resources, tangible hands-on things that you can utilize and do to keep you coming into your alignment as a feminine warrior. It feels like an absolute blessing to be in the role that I'm in right now and to be able to work with incredible human beings like yourself, and even just to be able to have this conversation, because I can feel how deeply this is essential right now. And I can also feel how fast things have been moving. And I'm curious if you feel the same, that it's like that people are waking up really, really quickly and new information is being brought to us very fast. And I, for one, am so committed to my spiritual growth, my consciousness growth, my empowerment from within that I've had moments of almost feeling a little bit overwhelmed by how quickly things are changing. And that is always a reminder to anchor back into what is true and real for you. And so I do the same. I'm working with 3 different coaches right now. I'm in multiple different programs, both for business and for personal, for growth of body, growth of mind, growth of connection and community. Lean into your support always. Don't think that you're supposed to do it by yourself, because you're not. Because we're moving into 5th dimensional consciousness. We're moving into unity consciousness. And that means that we're coming into more connection with others. We're coming into more synchronistic moments of almost like telepathic communication, where you're thinking about your sister and she calls you out of nowhere, or you really wish that someone would just show up at your house with food, and they do. Maybe that hasn't happened to you yet, but it's definitely happened to me. And these instances, these synchronicities are going to keep arising. And the best way that we can be in alignment with them is to allow ourselves to pay attention, to be aware. And when we let ourselves be supported and lean on the people around us, it helps us to surrender and ease into the experience we're having without needing to be in constant resistance. When we're in resistance, we step into force because we're trying to make ourselves do all the things. Instead, we want to be in a place of love and alignment. And that's where so much flow comes from: fluidity, freedom, connection. Oh, it's just such a beautiful place to be. So I'm going to end it here for now. It's just a brief little one, tapping you into some of the energy of feminine warrior. Again, if you don't yet have a copy, or if you want to buy a copy for your sister or your cousin or your bestie, you can go to deannadeacon.com/feminine warrior. The order comes directly to me. I have all my books on my bookshelf just beside me. I will sign the copy for you and pop it in the mail myself. So if you are buying a copy for somebody else, please make sure that there's a note written there, or whoever you say it's shipping to, that's who I'm going to sign it for. Okay. So make sure you put in the correct address for that. And, have fun. Have fun coming into your alignment. Have fun connecting into the truth of who you truly are and becoming more and more of the feminine warrior that you are deep within. And I mentioned this in last episode, but right now it's the sort of the middle of September. And I just want to keep a little bug in your ear that in the middle of October, I have a really special training that I'm going to be offering all around abundance, embodiment, connection with service, money, financial freedom, like connection in terms of unity. It's going to be kind of mapped around all of those pieces. It's coming in mid-October. I'm off social media until then, so you won't see anything about it other than hearing about it here. So just keep a little note in the back of your mind that something is coming very special for you. It'll be hosted in the Empowered Woman Collective on Facebook. That's the Facebook group that I absolutely adore facilitating and holding trainings in. So go ahead and come join us in the Empowered Woman Collective, and you'll be sure to know when all of the details are coming out and coming your way. I love you. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and can't wait to sign a copy of Feminine Warrior for you when you order it today. Mwah.